The biggest question that people ask me when it comes to hooping is, how do I get my breaks to look clean? They don't look nice, they look wonky, or you're just like not able to do it at all. So I'm gonna go over the absolute basics that you need to know about getting your breaks down. So hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate. If you are new here, I hope that you subscribe. I post a lot of videos about hula hooping and I help you get to your hoop goals. So let me go over just the basics of getting breaks down. If you're first learning this move, something that might be keeping you from getting the move down is the size of your hoop. If you're using something that's really small, it's gonna be really hard for you to get this move down because of how quickly the hoop is gonna be moving. So I definitely recommend using a larger hoop when you are doing this move for the first time. But I also recommend not using one of those beginner dance hoops, ones that are made out of PE irrigation tubing, because they are just so big and so heavy. But if that's all that you have right now, I think that that should be fine. I highly recommend using something that is just a larger diameter. I'm gonna be using this hoop right here. It's a 35-inch 3/4 Polypro. I feel like this hoop is even like a little big from what I was learning, but just for the sake of this video, this is what I'm gonna be using. If you have something that's in a similar size, that would be great. So before I start breaking down the move, get any loose hair that might be in the way out of the way, because you want to make sure that the hoop is making contact with your skin as much as possible. I also recommend wearing something that is not loose fitting, so any type of like flowy sleeves or even just like a soft silky material. I'm just wearing like a cotton tank top. My shoulders are exposed. It just helps for the hoop to maintain contact with your skin and prevents anything from getting in the way of the hoop. So another thing that might keep you from getting this move down is the position that you are starting the move. So you're gonna wanna take your hoop, put it up against your back like this. You're gonna wanna place it right beneath your shoulder or your delt, right in this crevice right here. You wanna make sure it's nice and high up here, and I'll go over the reason why in a little bit, but make sure that you're just keeping your hoop nice and flat across your body and parallel to the ground, and it's placed up against your back right beneath your shoulders. So a drill that I like to teach my students is just by passing the hoop back and forth from hand to hand. So you're just gonna want to take one of your hands off of the hoop, just toss it to the other side, and then you're gonna go in the other direction, passing it back and forth like this. So some things that you need to keep in mind as you're doing this drill is keeping your chest nice and flat, pulling your shoulders back. Posture is a really big thing when it comes to doing this move, and by pointing your chest in the direction in which the hoop is moving. So as the hoop moves to your right, just point your chest to the right, to the left, to the left. So just practice going back and forth like this. And once you feel comfortable, you're keeping your planes nice and flat. You're pointing your chest side to side, and you're pulling your shoulders back. You can add in a break on one side. So as you make contact with the hoop, you want to make contact with your wrist and not your palm. And the reason for that is your palm has a lot of curves on the surface of it, and you want to make sure that you're making contact with a flat surface. So that's going to prevent the hoop from like bumping up against these nice curves that you have on your palm, and just making contact with a flat surface like this. When you make contact with the hoop, you want to be sure to follow through down and across your body. So you're going to start right here, down and across. And as you're doing that, just remember that you want to pull your shoulders back, point your chest in the same direction, and go down and across. So I'm going to pull my hoop over to my dominant side. I'm going to have my arm inside of the hoop like this, and I'm just going to toss the hoop over to my opposite side, break, and then catch. Break and catch. So the reason why I said that you want to have the hoop nice and high up, that allows for more mobility underneath the hoop to get your hand all the way over to whatever side that you're going to be breaking with, and just being able to follow through. Because if the hoop is down here, you're not going to be able to bring your hand nice and high, as opposed to it being up here. Then you have all this space on the side to break the hoop. So again, let's pull it over to whatever side that you want to practice on, break and follow through, and just catch with your other hand, break, follow through, break, follow through. So you can see that my hand is going down and across as I make contact with the hoop. I'm hitting it with my wrist and I'm following through with my hand and with my chest. So once you get comfortable with that, practice on your other side. And now we're just gonna put it all together. So some things to keep in mind for making sure that your posture is nice and straight. You kind of have your feet shoulder width apart. I have like usually a slight bend whenever I do these, just so you can feel kind of strong in your stance. Making sure that your shoulders are pulled back and your chest is nice and puffed out. And just by moving back and forth as the hoop moves side to side. So as you practice going from side to side, make sure that you are maintaining the same strength and speed on both sides. A thing that I like to do is count so that I can maintain a rhythm as I go back and forth and making sure that I am making contact at the same time. So you can see that I'm making the same movement on both sides. I'm pushing out my chest, I'm pulling my shoulders back, and I'm following through on both sides. So as I make contact with the hoop, I'm just gonna get ready and set myself up for the hoop to return to that same side. So I'm just going to go down and come back up. So you can look at this hand right here, and you're just going to go down and back, down and back, down and back. And the same for this side, down and back, down and back, down and back. And if you want to count, just slow down your count when you're first starting, and then once you get more comfortable with this move, then you can start to speed it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's speed it up one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So always just maintaining the same rhythm and speed as you are doing this move. It's really going to help with your consistency when you're going back and forth and making sure that you're making contact in the same measure as your other arm. That's just going to help you make this move look a little bit cleaner. And then once you feel comfortable with that, you can start moving to a smaller hoop and start speeding up the move. So as I was doing that, I can already feel that since it's such a larger hoop and a larger diameter than what I'm used to, I feel the pressure, when it makes contact with my body. If you're using a beginner dance hoop, that's just going to increase the amount of pressure and contact that it's going to be making with your body. So that's why I recommend not using a beginner dance hoop, just because you want to keep your body safe. But if that is all that you have, I wouldn't practice speeding up as much. Just try and get the movements down. So the most important things to keep in mind as you're doing this move is your posture. You're always going to want to pull your shoulders back nice and far. You want to keep your chest nice and flat and puffed out. You want to move from side to side as you are hitting the hoop side to side. You want to make contact with the hoop with your wrist because, again, you have nice curves around your palms, and that gives for more area for the hoop to bounce off against. So you want to make sure you have a flat surface that you are making contact with the hoop, and then just maintaining the same rhythm and speed as you are going back and forth with this move. So that is a breakdown of very basic breaks and how to clean them up. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be releasing more tutorials to help you clean up your breaks and eventually add in some paddles. Be sure to tag me in any videos that you might post online. I'm at Hoop with Kate on literally everything. I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy hooping!